So in Vegas, there's a Tesla, okay, truck parked outside of Trump Tower, one of the Trump hotels, which we stay at that hotel all the time. It's a great hotel. And you see this clip here. Is this the explosion, Rob?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see this one here. Go for it.
Oh, jeez.
Copy.
Is it confirmed that he's the one that's dead? Is the army guy that it was he in the car?
Let me read you what I got, and then we'll get into it. So, by the way, the same guy, a Tesla Cybertruck filled with fuel canisters and firework mortars exploded outside of the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas, killing the driver and injuring 7 people. Las Vegas Sheriff Kevin McMahill said the truck started to smoke, then exploded, and dramatic footage of the explosion shows bursts of multicolored fireworks shooting in multiple directions. Investigators are exploring if there are any links to the deadly New Orleans attack where 15 died. He noted, obviously, a Cybertruck, the Trump Hotel. There are a lot of questions that we have to answer. The FBI is investigating the incident as a possible act of terrorism. Special Agent Jeremy Schwartz said, I know everybody's interested in that word and trying to see if we can say, hey, this is a terrorist attack. That is our goal, and that's what we're trying to do. However, they have not found any evidence connecting the explosion to the Islamic State. Is this the fellow saying that, Rob? Is this the same thing that I just read or something else?
This clip right here is them discussing the evidence that was found in the back of the Cybertruck and why more people weren't injured when the Cybertruck
Let's watch
exploded.
this. Let's watch
The
this.
fire initially, they covered it with the tarp to try to get it to go out. Once the fire went out through the suppression efforts of the fire department, you'll see some of the evidence in the back of the vehicle. So those are gasoline canisters. They are camp fuel canisters and large firework mortars.
Look at the side of the Tesla. Nothing happened to it.
Nothing, bro. Wow.
What I also would like you to pay attention to on that video, as you see that, it looks like the exterior of that truck is completely intact as it sits there. The fact that this was a Cybertruck really limited the damage that occurred inside of the valet because it had most of the blast go up through the truck and out. In fact, if you look on that video, you'll see that the front glass doors at the Trump Hotel were not even broken by that blast, which they were parked directly in front of. You
That
can see
is
that in the
unbelievable.
video
Tragic event. Unbelievable commercial for Tesla, by the way.
Oh, wait, that's the design. When you put a bomb like that, you want to you have 3 things. You have the heat and fire of the blast. You have then concussion, and then you create everything around it becomes projectile. The glass breaks on the front of the windows, and that becomes projectiles that just has a horrible effect on people nearby. And here you have the law enforcement stating, look, the front windows weren't even broken.
And what's he saying here, Rob?
This is where they credit Elon Musk. Elon Musk helped investigators determine who the driver was by tracing down the route that he went through the different Tesla supercharging stations. He also helped them get inside of the vehicle because the vehicle locked once it exploded.
That's some data for
Play
you.
the clip.
I have to thank Elon Musk specifically. He gave us quite a bit of additional information in regards to how the vehicle was locked after it exploded due to the force of the nature of the force from the explosion, as well as being able to capture all of the video from the Tesla charging stations across the country, and he sent that directly to us. So I appreciate his help on that.
And because of the diagnostics of the car, he said yesterday this wasn't a vehicle thing. He said it's either fireworks and or a bomb that was in the back.
Let me ask you a question, Tom. I got a question for you with that one right there. So what information did Elon give to the authorities?
The authorities are stating that they received the public security camera footage from the Tesla supercharger stations.
The public.
Yeah, this is well, it's private. It's private footage maintained by Tesla, but it's their own security cameras that monitor their charging stations.
And then what other information did the Tesla give to the authorities?
Apparently, he helped them unlock the car and also helped them with, I guess, who the registered owner
After the explosion.
or who rented it. Yeah.
After the explosion took place. Okay.
That's what the authorities were saying.
Right. So how different is that than what happened with Apple and Tim Cook when they asked them to give the information on the phone at the San Bernardino shooting, whatever that shooting was 12 years ago. I think it was maybe 10 years ago. Can you see when that shooting was, Rob? The San Bernardino shooting was when?
It was definitely under
8
Obama.
years
I want to
ago.
say 2015.
Yeah, where he didn't give that over. The FBI requested Apple create software to the suspect in the December 2015 shooting. The FBI wanted the software to accept that to correct when was found. So can you go back, and I want to see what was given to him. Can you go back to that sheriff to see what was given to that clip? And what did he say was given? Is it just basic information, or?
I have to thank Elon Musk specifically. He gave us quite a bit of additional information in regards to how the vehicle was locked after it exploded due to the force of the nature, or the nature of the force from the explosion, as well as being able to capture all of the video from the Tesla charging stations across the country, and he sent that directly to us. So I appreciate his help on that.
Okay. So it's not.
Yeah, it's not personal stuff inside the vehicle. It's just like, hey, listen, we know where this guy was.
But think about how helpful that is. It says, hey, we've got video from the charging stations, our public cameras that are out there in public.
That's super helpful.
And saying, was he alone or not? So, I don't know what Elon said, but you could say whether there was one person, two person in the truck, which would the guy look like?
Super helpful.
Very helpful, because you want to know, just like, well, New Orleans they believe by security camera that there's up to 3 or 4 other people in New Orleans that are planting devices, right? So Elon Musk is helping them. Hey, here's the charging station stuff. So you ever
seen the movie Horrible Bosses? Have you ever seen the movie Horrible Bosses? Of course. Rob, have you seen the movie Horrible Bosses?
Just Charlie Day, Jason Bateman.
You haven't seen it? Really? You haven't seen
Jason
it?
Jason Sudeikis? What?
Okay. So at the end of the movie, when he's outside, Kevin Spacey, and he's saying what he's saying.
Of course.
And the car is recording what he's saying. I don't know if you remember that scene.
Yeah, of course. It's like the ending scene, how they basically get him.
The car is recording and hearing what he's saying. Then when the cops show up, the car repeats everything that he said. Kevin Spacey said. Obviously, it's comical when this is taking place, but a little bit of a interesting angle here of what types of information Tesla is going to have, because it's a computer driving around. So a Tesla, if you decide to do something with a Tesla, hey, they're going to find out what you're doing, essentially, especially because they have all this intel to be able to say, he said, to track the driving, like what areas they went through. That's kind of like the phone, right? Find my iPhone or whatever it is.
Yeah, he gave, Jake messaged me, he gave them telemetry check showing that all systems were green before the explosion. So everything is basically on file of what your car is doing.
Yeah, there's
all in a computer.
There's a monitor inside, a camera inside. So the way that the autopilot works for the computer, for the Tesla, you have to have a monitor inside that's recording you at all times, and it actually monitors your eyes to make sure that your eyes are on the road. If you divert your eyes from the road, say you look down at your phone, the system inside the car will notify you so that you then have to manually steer the vehicle. So there's always a camera running inside of the Tesla vehicle at all times.
How do you feel about that?
Especially with all the crazy stuff you do in your car.
No, I'm just curious. How do you feel about it?
I don't like it. But unfortunately, I've traded the ease of convenience for privacy. I'd rather be able to drive automatically, and I just know that everything that I'm saying inside of that car is being recorded. It could be accessed at any point.
How long does it take until the world accepts Minority Report? How long
predictive
until
analytics, predictive.
How long will we fight it until it becomes acceptable? Let me ask the question one more time.
Yeah, of course.
How long will we fight it until it becomes acceptable?
Fight what exactly?
I was just going to say, at what level?
Predictive analytics?
Rob says, I traded my privacy for convenient. What was the word you used? Convenient?
The ease of convenience.
Ease of convenience.
Just like security,
I think
when they're
it's
like,
happening, right?
Just like with the Patriot Act, they're like, listen, because of terrorism, we need to monitor you. How long till it gets to that?
We learned during COVID that in 2020, when I think Tesla hit, a $1 trillion market cap, and I think they've been up and down since then. I know they had a rough start to 2024, and I think they're bouncing back. But were they a car company? Were they a green energy company? And someone goes, no, they're a data company. They collect your data. Look at this now. But by the way, I vividly remember the 2015, 2016 San Bernardino shooting when Tim Cook refused to open up the iPhone. On this particular situation, why did you make that correlation, PBD? Because I know that's something that you were
No. To
considering.
me, where I'm going to is I'm going to the area of thinking, okay, 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we're doing a podcast. And if you remember on that podcast, what had happened where I read that the drones. Remember when the drones attack happened?
Of course.
Then I explained the story of the guy that said anytime you're seeing UFOs or stuff like this that's happened, it's a psyop to be able to get the next Patriot Act, the next whatever act that they want to get in there to say, see, we need this because with this, and we're going to all this. We need this in order for us to be able to, I don't know if you remember when we talked about that 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Encroachment on your rights.
I don't know. I think we have to be, we have to catch the bad guys and identify exactly what happened and get to the bottom of it. But at what cost to convince the rest of American people to say, hey, if you all comply and allow us to record all your behavior, we will be able to prevent future crimes from taking place and we can eliminate all this stuff. Then imagine everything is like, right now you can be talking and an ad pops up because you were talking about it with your wife, and so you're already being watched and heard 24/7, whether you know it or not. Alexa, phone, Siri,
Everything.
Tom, you were going to say something.
No, you just made the point, and I was going to add to that. The Nest thermostat said, and we have a motion detector on it. So if you're not in the room or that side of the house, we'll let we won't have your air conditioning or heating working that hard. We'll let it go down a couple degrees. Well, then they found out that it was actually a camera that was in their Nest thermostat. So it's exactly what you're talking about. So your Nest thermostat's got a camera, your Alexa's got a thing, and they're thinking about ad targeting. So they're thinking about how do we sell you more and the advertising targeting, exactly what you're talking about. But a short step from that is NSA, basically, the evil sister of the FBI, basically has all that information on citizens. So now you have citizen surveillance, and that's what you're talking about. And I think one of the answers to it is we are right now losing more privacy with every technical generation. Oh, by the way, Samsung refrigerators that know what's in the refrigerator, and they have that panel on the front of the refrigerator, so that with every technological innovation, you are already losing. And if you don't think that the NSA and the FBI are looking for ways to accumulate information on citizens, they're not waiting for a terrorist attack. That's how they passed the legislation like the Patriot Act.
Yeah.
But they're already out there collecting the data.
Listen, this is Humberto just sent this. Yes, Tesla vehicles regularly send information back to Tesla servers, including operational diagnostic data, which helps them improve their systems and diagnose potential issues. However, most camera recordings are processed within the car and only uploaded with the driver's consent through the data sharing settings, usually only in the event of a collision or the other safety concerns. So they're asking you and you're letting them, which is great. It's totally fair. Like, whole the thing with Facebook, the ads and Google, and hey, you never gave that permission. It just, they did it, right?
Yep.
And then it went into the permission. So it's not like they're not compliant. All I'm saying is, gradually you're like, well, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? What's the big deal? Oh shit. What was the big deal?
Yep.
Damn.
You're done.
Every behavior. So look, of course we want to know exactly what happened here and we want to get the intel of what happens here. But it has to, the way massive change happens is the temperature goes, guilt, boom. You break. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't handle this embarrassment. You got me. Yes, do it. And we're like, no, what are we doing? No. And no matter who the person is, no, I'm not with it. I'm not. Listen, respect, great job, awesome on all your success. I'm not going there. That's when we're not going. I don't know. This part to me, I want to know the link between the two, if there's any. The other event happened at 3:15. Rob, when did this event happen? Do we know the exact time of this event and how different the time are between the two? Because one of them, it looks like it was bright.
Yeah, one was
daylight.
Looked like the daytime.
And Pat, why?
8:39 a.m.
Yeah.
But that's the West Coast time, so it would have been
8:39
11:30 our
a.m.,
time.
So 11:30. So 11. And the other one is New Orleans. Is New Orleans Central or is
Yeah,
New Orleans
Central.
East Coast?
Central.
Central?
1 hour behind.
So if New Orleans is 1 hour behind,
Yeah, it was 4
and that's
a.m. our time.
8:30, so it's 1:30, so it's 5 hours. So New Orleans happened. No, it's the other way around. New Orleans happened first.
Yes.
Then the other one happened 6 hours later, if I'm not mistaken, give or take.
Correct.
So New Orleans, Tesla,
Yeah.
6 hours later.
Yes.
I don't know if that 6 hours is.
Oh, are you saying there's some sort of correlation with these two?
You have to consider it,
okay.
and you
Of
have to look at the,
course.
the what is the word? The idea that it happened that closely to each other. I have to look at
Well,
those.
the-
things.
I guess
Is
the
it
question I
kind
have are these lone wolves looking for soft targets?
I
Is
don't
there
believe-
some sort of
I don't believe I don't believe that these things just happen randomly. Like, you know what the symbolism of driving the car of the guy that's coming into Trump's cabinet, one of the main guys that's controversial as hell, parking that vehicle in the front of Trump, like in front of Trump's hotel, and you being a stupid moron that's the most metal around the truck thing is. By the way, this guy's 37 years in the Army veteran. He was in Special Forces or whatever the hell he's
the
in.
guy from the Tesla?
The guy in the Tesla.
So do
put
they know who he
fireworks-
is?
Yes, his
Because
name
we've
is.
heard all about the guy that did the
His
New
name
Orleans
is
thing.
Matthew Livelsberger from Colorado Springs. The guy
You said
put-
that he served in the Army as well?
Army
In the
yeah.
same unit?
Well, he was from Fort Bragg. Same
Is that the same-
base.
Guys,
Same
it's
base.
a lot of soldiers, like a
okay.
small city.
Yeah,
No,
it's
no,
a small
I get it.
city.
I
It's
get
like
it. But
saying
they-
I'm from the same city of 30,000 people. Or
Yes.
some number like
I get
that.
it.
Yeah,
I get it. But
when I-
the same day, same time.
But hold on, but
Truck.
but Tesla, Trump in the front, but you use that car like what a dumbass.
52,000 soldiers at Fort Bragg, just so you
Yeah,
guys know.
that's a small
That's a
city.
But they
It's a
know who
city.
he is. This guy, Matthew Livels,
Yeah.
whatever.
I want my thing
Okay,
is
but
Adam,
he killed himself. Is he the only person that died?
he was in the car. He was the one that died.
And nobody else died.
No.
Well, good.
Well, but the intention of what he was trying to do, and you nailed it, Adam. What's the purpose? What's this simultaneous? This doesn't happen just by randomly. These both guys that are doing this type of acting, they're both veterans of the
Are they
Army.
both the same age, Rob? Because Matthew,
They're 5-year difference because Matthew's 37 and the guy from New Orleans is 42.
5 years apart.
Is there any
so,
indication
got it.
that this is anything with Islamic extremism or ISIS? Is there anything with that? Because we know a ton on this
Oh,
other guy.
This guy, we
don't know anything about him?
They don't know yet.
What do you mean they don't know yet? They know everything on this other guy.
Well, that's the point. Here's my thing, Adam.
They raided his home. I have a news clip if you want to
Okay,
hear
Yeah,
that.
this
go
is the
show
Vegas
that.
guy. What's this?
Yeah, he lives in so he originally lives in Colorado Springs. The vehicle was rented out of Colorado on Turo, and here is the news outside of his home.
Okay,
as
so
his
one
home's
guy is
raided.
Texas/New Orleans, and the other guy is completely
Yeah,
Colorado.
I think that besides the
Vegas?
Fort Bragg connection, the other big connection here is the Turo app. It's not an app that's used in every state. Not every state, not every city has access to the Turo app. It's still rolling out and in development. I don't know if you guys have ever used a Turo app. It's basically like using enterprise rental car through an app.
Yeah.
But you're renting people's
People's
personal
cars.
vehicles.
Yeah, it's a personal
not
vehicle.
like an actual company's vehicle.
Yeah,
Vinny,
it's-
if I want to borrow Vinny's Toyota Celica or whatever.
Corolla.
Have a little respect.
I would use the Turo app to rent it. But
It's
here's the-
Airbnb for cars.
Exactly. Here's the
you
news
go.
reporting on the raid of the guy's home.
And yeah, she's cute.
Go ahead.
I'm Maggie Bryan on the east side of Colorado Springs, where the FBI is investigating a townhome they say is linked to the driver of the Cybertruck that exploded in Las Vegas Wednesday morning. Several law enforcement officials confirmed 37-year-old Matthew Livelsberger died in the vehicle. Officials also confirm he lived in Colorado Springs. Now, El Paso County records point to several addresses linked to him. The FBI says this home is one of them. It's near Stetson Hills Boulevard and North Mark Shuffle Road on the east side of the city. Our team saw FBI agents out here for several hours Wednesday evening, many of them leaving, though, around midnight. This vehicle behind me, one of the last ones left. It's now 1:15 in the morning. This home is about 3 miles away from a Colorado Springs police substation, where we saw a few armored vehicles in the parking lot Wednesday night. An FBI agent here on scene tells me they expect to be back out here on Thursday morning. We'll keep you updated with any more information that we learn on air and online at KOAA.com.
Can we play a little devil's advocate? Because you know everybody online's like, this is something bigger has happened. If it is people behind this trying to brainwash and make these people happen, these are the homegrown ones. Then the upcoming ones that came to the border are going to start doing this attack. What would be the end game to get us into war?
Bro, this guy's not a regular guy. This guy was a special forces.
That's what
guy.
I'm
Rob,
saying.
Pull up the story, like breaking down. I just was reading through this. I think it's good for us to read it to the audience. It says, who was Matthew Livelsberger, the U.S. Army veteran named as suspect? If you go a little bit lower on the story I just sent you, it tries to see if there's any kind of a comparison between the two. Two nerds in addition, Liversberger and Jabbar rented their vehicles. We know that. Authorities are investigating a possible link between the two. At the time they were fighting in the Middle East, the U.S. had around 100,000 military personnel in Afghanistan as part of Barack Obama's troop surge. According to CBS, law enforcement sources said that Liversberger was on active duty with the Army, serving in Germany, and was on leave in Colorado at the time of the incident. His wife allegedly hadn't heard from him in several days. And Liversberger spent 18 of his 19 years in the Army career with Special Forces. According to his LinkedIn profile, he is believed to have joined the Green Beret as a communication specialist in January of 2006 before becoming an operator. This guy's a BMF. The profile picture on the account shows a man sporting winter gear, armed with the assault rifle, standing on top of a snowmobile. His most recent role, November 2024, was listed as a remote autonomous systems manager for the Army. He earned a summa cum laude, an award given to the students earning the highest grade in their class. After graduating from Norwich University in Vermont with a degree in strategic studies and defense analysis, according to social media, also states he earned Department of State Meritorious Honor Award for interagency contributions that resulted in increased interoperability and efficiency while serving as the Operations Sergeant Special Operations Command Forward. Liversberger often commented on posts from military personnel. In a comment on a viral post from Air Force veteran, he responded to a question noting that the government was responsible for making people believe they were responsible for other student debt. Okay, interesting. Erasing student debts was a signature Biden-era policy. At the age of 22, he began collecting clothes, toys, and educational items for children and disseminating of humanitarian aid while serving a tour in Afghanistan. He told the U.S. News Journal in the native Ohio, appealing to U.S. citizens for donations in January 20. He told the outlet, handing out humanitarian assistance continues to be one of the few approaches of gaining credibility and loyalty of the people of Afghanistan, and I believe you directly contributed to our success at ground level. His wife, believed to be Sarah, wrote on Facebook in May of 2016 that she was registered Democrat. She posted a picture of a graphic commissioned by the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee appearing to show Trump, which read, "Stop bigotry." She captioned so this is now, let's see where this goes. She captioned a post, "Perks of being a registered Democrat. I can't wait to slap this baby on my truck." She shared photographs of two together, posted almost a decade ago. In one image from April 2016, the pair posed for a selfie with Liversberger sporting a camel backpack. In another July 2015, Liversberger can be seen with a tattoo of a bald eagle and American flag on his shoulder as he posed with a dog. A Facebook account that appears to belong to him shows a heavily tattooed man holding a baby with its profile picture updated in September of it's just 3 months ago, detailed on Sarah Facebook page. Information released that age match report from officials. One page from it's my old ass husband's 28th birthday. Sources, the Bureau of very interesting. At this time, we are investigating a number of leads. I'm not prepared. Very interesting to see where they're at.
I have a totally different take that I'm going to bring
for it
up there. So this is inspired by a text that Vinny sent in our group chat for the prep. And he said, it's January 1st, first day of the year, we already have our first terror attack. Boom. And I'm like, where have I heard that before? And it was actually 1 year ago on January 1st, 2024, where you basically sent the exact same text. And I was like, what the hell happened there? And then, Rob, I sent it to you. January 1st, in the morning, after midnight, there was an attack at the Kodak Center in Rochester, New York, when 1,000 guests were attending a New Year's Eve concert. Here it is right here. This guy rented a 2023 Ford Expedition with gasoline canisters and basically drove it into this concert. I think, how many people died? 9 people died, I want to say. But the point is this. What's the correlation there? And this had nothing to do with ISIS. This guy's American. Here's my opinion. Ready? The holiday season. Man, if you're going through some stuff, this is the worst time to be alone. This is the worst time to have issues. PBD, you'll remember this. November of 2019. I text you. I say, PBD, are you going to be in Nalba in Dallas? You said, no, I'm not. I'm not going to be there.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to be in town.
This is when you were going through challenges?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to see you. And at the time, my father had just died. And my girlfriend, who I was living with, was facing cancer, struggling with cancer. So I met with you. That was November. And that Christmas was the lowest point of my life. Lowest point of my life. Why? Because usually I go spend Thanksgiving with the girl that I'm dating's family. And we had just she's dealing with treatment. Then Christmas, I haven't dated a Jewish girl in like over a decade. So usually I'm with my girlfriend's family, in this particular instance in Detroit. And I couldn't go visit her because she's dealing with chemo and everything with that. So, you know me, I'm out, I'm about, I'm having a good time, very jovial, have friends. Never in my life have I dealt with depression like I did on Christmas of 2019. Never in my life. Now, nothing drastic like this. And that's for someone who's got things going on in their life, successful, good connections, good mental health. But dealing with the loss of my father, but especially with my girlfriend at the time, was dealing with cancer, the lowest point of my life. So take these people's situations. The first guy, what? Divorce, financial situations, struggling, who knows what's going on. There's a reason that they do it right around January 1st. It's the end of the holiday season. They're probably by themselves. They have major issues, major health issues, mental health issues. All this is going on, and then boom, January 1st fireworks.
But Adam, to have ISIS and be inspired by ISIS, which started when Obama with 2011 withdrawing from Iraq and then arming the Syrian rebels, which basically sparked it. But
But the Vegas guy had nothing to do with ISIS.
That's the Vegas guy. But
No. Hold on, stay on this.
Yeah.
The guy last year had nothing to do with ISIS. But that's my point, is that there's so much going on, and then ISIS is the last sprinkle for this one particular guy.
That's a huge sprinkle. I mean, that's not a regular
but on this
sprinkle.
one case, brother.
Yeah, no, I get
There's
it.
other instances. There's no indication the guy in Vegas had anything to do with ISIS.
We don't know nothing because they're not telling us anything.
Matthew Lessesberger.
Yeah, which
his name isn't.
But doesn't it strike you weird that Pat just did a freaking all that story on him? How do we know so much about these guys in less than 12 hours? It's like they're feeding us all this information. But when it comes to like assassination attempts, you still don't know nothing of these. Zero of these people. It's just weird how they just like, dude, we know this guy's medications, his wife, his dog. You know everything about this guy's history in less than 12 hours. But when it comes to that stuff, we don't know nothing.
What do you mean we didn't know nothing? We found out the guy that tried to kill Trump on the golf course, he served in Ukraine, or he was out there basically being a part of that protest. We learned a lot about him. The guy that went on top of the roof, we learned a lot about him. So when you say we didn't know nothing, that's not exactly accurate.
There's two things here. Let's go to the next story. Both tragic. I'm sure we're going to get more stories that's coming in here. The FBI has more pressure today. That lady's look on her face, the FBI person that, a lot of people are saying is a DI hire. You know why she sounded nervous? Because a new guy is coming in town, and she's probably going to get fired. She's not going to have that job that she had before. I don't know. Was she with the FBI, Rob?
Yes, her name is Special Agent Duncan.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff's going to be changing.
Did you see the old lady?
But let me just give you this. That's a complete different thing for us to move on. The 81-year-old, yes, the 80.
She runs the New Orleans Police Department. 81-year-old grandma.
Well, she hit two people with her car in August. You know that, right? She hit
this lady.
This
is the lady that runs the New Orleans.
Her name is Kirkpatrick. She hit two people with her car in August, and I'm not trying to be funny. Look that up, Rob.
Who is this? The Joe Biden of policing? What is happening?
Can we play this real quick, Rob?
Yeah.
Sure.
In order to conduct this,
she's 81.
he was hell-bent
I'm sorry.
Late 60s.
on creating the carnage
Who
and
said
the
81?
damage that he did. Because of the nature and the indices that we have.
Did she really hit
Look
two
up
people?
Ann Kirkpatrick driving over two people. Go ahead, Rob.
It says she was born in 1959.
Okay,
So
and Rob,
65 to
Rob,
66
can you look up Ann
the hell says
Kirkpatrick,
she's 81?
New Orleans police chief, running over two people in August? And then, by the way, she used to be the head of police in Oakland, where she was fired. Then she sued them and got a $1.5 million settlement.
So where did this come from? A news report, like according to a news report?
That's right there. Former chief
OPD
investigator for hitting two people while driving in New Orleans.
So she's under. Okay,
No, this
so
has happened
she's under investigation according to this news
No, this is
report.
August 5th. So I think it's
4
over.
months ago. This is former. Go a little low, Rob. Former Oakland chief is being investigated for hitting two people in New Orleans. The incident happened Saturday, and a woman was treated for minor injuries, and a man was uninjured. According to local reports, New Orleans police says a breathalyzer test returned with zero. Investigation is now being turned over to state police. Okay. Vinny's got an announcement for you guys. A new product is out for all the angry patriots out there. Go ahead, Vinny.
Well, we've been waiting for it for a while. We did a couple test runs, but boom, Angry Patriot, future looks bright on the side. and we got the American flag in black and white. And guys, this isn't like the normal. What are the ones that we have, Pat, that are like more golf? This is more of a flat brim. I mean, it still bends and it looks sick. And yeah, they're out. So if you want to rock the Angry Patriots, boom, Rob, link.
American flag on the side.
The
Future
American
looks
flag
bright on the other
on
side.
the side, nothing. The back is just regular, but it's like a
Sick.
$59.9. It's like it's a sick hat.
This will go fast, guys. So if you want an Angry Patriot hat, go place the order. If you love Vinny, place the order of the hat.
Yahtzee.
Okay. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.